Okay, let's try to film this video. It is raining outside. I'm in Thailand right now. And right now I think you can hear me pretty well, but sometimes like thunder, storm, and like really hard rain. So anyways, but I really want to film this right now. And by the way, I finally cut off the sleeves. Oh, so much better. Oh yeah, I like this shoe. Okay, let's actually start this video about hard times with my Aspergers. And I wrote that when I was still in the Philippines. So here is actually the first video about our crazy times in the Philippines, so you know what was going on. So we just kept living all together, Paul and I, and Randy with his caregiver Rhea, and sometimes her daughter Hannah. It was the best solution for everyone. We took care of Tinkerbell, the dog, like we were supposed to, just without any other people living there. Rhea, the caregiver, had her hands full with taking care of Randy, especially after the accident, and also taking care of her daughter Hannah when she was around. Oh, and the cleaning lady, the housekeeper, came over 3 times a week now, and not just 2. So Wednesdays and Fridays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. This setup was okay for me, but sometimes very brutal. I just can't live with anyone else but Paul. Now, don't get me wrong, those are all super nice and cool people. I just can't live with anyone else but Paul for some reason. I'm just not a social person. So many times I texted Paul to tell me when there's no one around anymore, so I could go into the kitchen and prepare food or get something and I don't have to see anyone. Or a lot of times I texted him, hey, could you please bring me this and that or that from the kitchen, from the fridge, because I just didn't want to see anyone. And again, it's not their fault. It's not, they're cool people. I'm just not a social person. I can only talk about me, of course, but it's very common with people with Asperger's that they have an obsession. And mine is cooking. Food, kitchenware, kitchens, basically everything that has to do with that. And I fucking hate sharing a kitchen. Why can't I be obsessed with painting? I mean, that would be so much easier. I could just set up like my little studio somewhere. With that, I mean, I could just have a desk somewhere and have my own paint brushes, my paint, and no one is allowed to touch it. No one is allowed to do anything. That would be so much easier. But now my obsession has to be with cooking, with kitchens, with the food. Even when still living in Reno, Nevada, the USA, I hated it every time Paul used the kitchen. Of course, I think it's great when he cooks his own meals, when he does stuff in the kitchen for himself. I mean, that's great. I want to support that. But I can't. He did use the kitchen, so don't get me wrong, he did. And I was okay with it. I learned to live with that. But still, every time, I hated it. I just want my own kitchen where no one is allowed to touch anything, except for the cleaning people. But then when they clean the stuff, they have to put the stuff back exactly where it was. And if they don't know, if they don't do, actually better, they just like do the dishes, clean it, but then just leave it on the drying rack and I put it away. Because everything has to be the same and stuff has to go back where it was, exactly where it was. I know that it's sick and unhealthy. Believe me, I know that. I really tried for the last 20 to 25 years to be okay with it, to share a kitchen, to see the positive in it, to accept it, to be okay with it, but no, it just doesn't fucking work. I want my own commercial kitchen with butcher setup, and it's all mine, and no one is allowed to touch anything. No one is allowed in there. No one can even look at something in there. It's just mine, all mine. I did mention that I know that this is really sick and unhealthy, but I can't deny my feelings. That's really how I feel and what I want, really. So having to share a kitchen is really fucking hard for me. And Rhea and Randy, they used the kitchen a lot. They cooked a lot. What I think is great, again, I want to support that. So much better to cook your own food instead of eating just highly processed shit that's not even food or always get takeaway and stuff. I think that's awesome and great. But yeah, having to share a kitchen. And our room was right next to the kitchen. So there was, let's pretend I was in our room in the Philippines, then here was a wall and the kitchen and the stove was right here on that wall. So unfortunately, even with closed latched doors, the smells got in, and I'm very sensitive to smells, especially spicy food and garlic and, well, basically any smells. So that was kind of hard. And of course, for some fucked up reason, I always got hungry when the kitchen was in use. Or like one time I was in the kitchen at 2 p.m. Cooking with 3 pans, working all over, also pre-cooking, also cooking for Paul, and suddenly every single one was in that fucking kitchen. Or I got home from the gym, really starving, really hungry, and I couldn't use the kitchen for 7 hours because they cooked a family dinner and they didn't tell me beforehand. I was going crazy. I had a meltdown in my room then. And of course, for that day, I also planned to cook a lot of stuff. Aspergers don't do well when stuff don't go as planned. They really don't do well. Oh, and I know nowadays it's so popular and most houses have these open kitchens because it looks so much better and stuff. I fucking hate open kitchens. I love when I can lock myself in, preferably with a key so really no one can get in. And also for the smells. Also, I cook a lot, or I cook a lot of meat, or I fry stuff, or fish, or seafood. It's cool if the smells basically just stay in the kitchen and not all over. So what I love closed kitchens, but actually what I would prefer is next to my house to have, where I'm living, to have a little separate house, and that's only a kitchen. And with all kinds of appliances, of course, including a bone saw, open fireplace, walk-in freezer, and so much more. So this is like my dream, to have our own little house next to the living house that is just a kitchen. Like a gazebo, or like the pool house, or like the guest house, but it's just a kitchen, you know what I mean? And of course, it's just mine. No one is allowed in there. Then there will be another kitchen, like the show kitchen, you know, the fancy open kitchen in the house, and I don't fucking care about that. People can use that. I want my commercial kitchen with everything you can imagine in that little house next to the house. That's what I want. Back to the Philippines. And then there was this 10-year-old kid. I fucking hate kids. And she came off of chickenpox, so she stayed with us for 10 days. Yeah, Paul and I, we both had chickenpox. I'm pretty sure Randy too, and Rhea. So they asked us, we said, I'm stupid, I should have said, no, I've never had it before. No, I'm an honest person. So yeah, we had it before, so she stayed with us for 10 days. And she was always around, and I fucking hate kids. And there was a day where Paul took Rhea and Randy to the mall, and I was like, yes, all by myself. So I can film some videos, I can cook something, I can be all by myself in the condo. But no, the fucking girl decided to stay at home as well, so I wasn't alone. Every time someone walked Tinkerbell, she also wanted to join. She joined me only once. I think she figured out I don't like human company on my dog walks, especially not kids. In a way, I feel really bad for kids that are around people that don't like kids. I mean, it's not their fault that they're kids. It's really not. And not to like someone because of something they can't even, it's not even their fault, it's really, really harsh. So yes, I actually felt really bad for Hannah having to live in a condo with me that doesn't like kids. I really felt bad for her. But then what should I have done? Lied to myself? Started to have conversations with her and then going crazy myself? No, I probably would have blown up at some time and gotten a total meltdown in front of them. And of course, I didn't want that. Hell no, I already had 2 meltdowns because of not being able to use the kitchen, but never in front of them. Well, I have to be clear here. Yes, I was not friendly to her, but I was also not unfriendly to her. Just because you're not friendly doesn't mean you're unfriendly. I hope you know what I mean. I just tried to ignore her and get out of her way. Trusted house sitting is great for Paul and me, and I would say we're doing a really great job. Taking care of pets, of house, of apartment, whatever. We are very responsible, honest people. We are doing a really good job, but we are living alone with pets, no other people. That's the deal. We don't have to share living space with other human beings. That's why we never stay in hostels or in Airbnbs with having to share a kitchen or living space. Except for once in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Here is that video because it was so expensive, so we had to get a place where we had to share the kitchen. But it was only for like 6 days, I think, luckily. I figured out living with others, my body is under constant stress. I'm not talking about Paul. Paul is okay. but otherwise. So for example, in the Philippines, when we were at the gym, I was always worried, will the kitchen be available when we get home? Will it be free? Will it be free? I'm starving, I need to eat, I need the kitchen. Or just already in the morning when I woke up, well, I don't eat in the morning, but when will I be able to use the kitchen? When I don't know exactly when I'll be hungry, will the kitchen be available? Always, that constant stress. Or when they're gone and I'm alone at the condo, when will they come back? When will they come back? How much time do I have to prepare my food to be able to use the kitchen without anyone there? Yeah, my body is under constant stress if I have to live with someone else other than Paul. It's just something my Asperger's mind can't really handle very well. It's okay to do that for a short while, but it can't be too long. My body and mind just go crazy and it's too stressful. I get sick, my body and my mind. It feels harder and harder on my body, and stress is very unhealthy for everyone. And long term, my body will get seriously sick and my mind really crazy, even crazier than it already is. Yeah, with all those people around, sometimes I cooked with my ear protectors on. And that fucking fan in the living room was so loud as well. And the kid watching YouTube videos was really loud too. Or they were watching a movie. Oh yeah, and Randy, he watches television movies so fucking loudly. Even when when he is in his room and watches movies, and I'm in our room and we latch the doors, it's so fucking loud. It sounds like it's right next to me. But luckily, he didn't watch movies all the time. So again, I could handle it. It was fine, just not very healthy for me. After Hannah went back to school, everything got so much more tolerable and bearable and tolerable again. It got much more quiet, and Rhea and Randy, they were actually gone a lot in the morning and early afternoons, so I could film a lot and I could just be for myself. Oh yeah, once I thought, oh, everyone was gone. Well, Rhea and Randy and Hannah were gone. I was like, oh, I could film some stuff because it was Paul's and my day off from the gym. But now, of course, right on that day, there was some construction going on in the apartment above us, and it was so fucking loud. Think about it. Oh, you don't like that, huh? But I have to say, I'm really glad they don't start early in the morning. I think they started around 10 a.m., so totally fine. It could be much worse. Yeah, we are a little bit unlucky with construction work during our Nomad life. We already had that in Turkey, Montenegro, and Albania. Here is the video about Airbnb in Albania. So again, all these negative things I've talked about here, they have nothing to do with them. Or, well, it's not their fault. Really, it's me. It's my problem. It's me. My fault. It has nothing to do with them. Rhea and Randy, I really like. They're really nice, cool people. And honestly, the daughter, Hannah, was very friendly. I just don't like it. And it's not her fault that she's a kid. I think I would like to be still a kid. I would prefer to be a kid again or something. I don't know. I don't know. And actually, there is also, it has nothing to do with intelligence, but I read that people with Asperger's, they don't mature as fast. So they stay kid much longer. I don't know. Again, I can just talk about me, not about others. And with me, it's totally true. Yeah. And that they're such nice people and that I really like them almost makes it worse, because I don't want to be so complicated. I want to make a good impression. I want to be outgoing, easygoing, chill, and all that, but that's definitely not me. I just hope they don't think too badly of me. It's just my Asperger's that makes certain things really, really hard or almost impossible for me. And believe me, I really tried. I did my best. I really did try. But it's just so fucking hard on my body. It's so hard. Stay happy, stay healthy.